Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to get started on your text adventure project. The best place to start is with your map. This map was created using a tool called Trizbort, which is on all the student machines. Notice if I double click on a room, it brings up a little dialog box that has the textual description of that particular room. And it even allows you to put like objects in there that you can list out. Oh, by the way, this thing is in that room. So it makes it really easy to build a visual model that you can then go build your text adventure off of. It also allows you to just copy and paste the text into the text adventure tool, and that just saves a lot of time, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. So let me go over to the text adventure tool, which is called Lantern, and I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to create a new project here called Demo 1, and I'll just put in I'll just say welcome. There we go. And I'll put in my name, Evan Wright, and I'll leave it at version 1.0. Okay, so let me go save this now. I'm going to save it as Demo 1. Demo 1, there we go. Yes, I do want to replace it. Okay, now let's go over to the Rooms and Objects tab and take a look at what we've got there. This is where you add all the things in your game. Now, there's no distinction between an object and a room. Take a barrel, for example. You could have a barrel in a room. It could be a thing in a room, but you could get inside the barrel too. So it's both a room and a location, and that's how this game works. There's really no distinction between objects and locations. Something could be both. So let's just take a look at what's in the list here to start off with. We have an object called off screen. This is the kind of ancestor of everything in the game. The game is internally represented as a giant tree with off screen as the root of the tree. So everything has off screen as its ancestor. When you create rooms, I highly recommend that you just leave the parent set to off screen. You're also given an object that represents the player. Notice that the player is in room 1. And you can give the player a description right there, but you could change the player's description in the code too. So anyway, everything has a description, and here's where you enter it. And then on the right here, that's where you put in the little properties of your objects. So let's go to the next one. This is room 1. You're also given a default room for the player, right? The player has to start somewhere, so we're given something called room 1, and the description of it, this is the end of a dirt road. And also notice that we've got the emitting light checkbox checked. So this you can see in that room. Rooms can be light or dark. If it's dark, it says it's pitch black. You can't see anything. So there we go. There's our 3 objects that were given by default. So now what I'm going to do is go to my map, and I'm going to paste in I'm going to put in a new description for room 1. So there's my map. I'm going to go to East West Road. I'm just going to copy and paste this text out of here and put it into the that field right there, the description. And notice it's going to convert it to uppercase. Why uppercase? It's because this tool is designed to support some machines they're so old they didn't have lowercase letters. That's why. So everybody gets uppercase. And then I think it was called Forest. No, it wasn't called Forest Path. What was it called? East West Road. All right, so let's go call it East West Road. East West Road, and I think it should. There you go. All right, cool. What is this initial description thing? That is how objects are initially described to the player. So let's say if there's a wrench in a room, when the player walks in, you could have it say there's a rusted wrench half buried in the dirt. Instead of there's a wrench here, right? So you can add descriptions that kind of help the player build that mental picture of what the game actually looks like. Okay, so now we've got our first room, and let's go add our second room, which is going to be called Forest Path. So I'm going to copy the text out of here, go to the tool, and I'm going to click Add Room / Object. And notice now I've got another object in my list. So let's go to that one, and I'm going to call it Forest Path. Paste in the description, and make sure that we check the box here that says that there's light. Otherwise, we won't be able to see when we go into that room. So let's save our project here. Save as Demo 1. Demo 1, there we go. Okay. All right, so what else? Well, now that we have two locations, we can actually hook them up. So east-west road, well, if I go south from east-west road, see now I go down here where it says south, I can say I end up on the forest path. And now let's go to the forest path, and if I go north from the forest path, I can say that I'm on the east-west road. So now I've linked those two rooms together. Now, this is generally how you want to do it. If you can go east to one room, you should be able to go west and end up back where you started. However, it doesn't always have to be that way. If you climb over a fence to the west, you may not be able to get back over to the east. If you fall down a hole, you may not be able to get back up. So connections can be one way. They don't have to be two ways. All right, so let's save it again, and then we'll build it and just test out that one little bit right there. So there's demo one. Save it. Overwrite. Okay, so now test it out. What I'm going to do is go up to the export menu and select Apple II. Apple II is just one of several computer platforms that this thing supports. And so what it did was it now wrote out all the code for the project, and it put it in a folder under the one where the tool is. So if I go to my Lantern directory here, or wherever I had Lantern, you'll see that there's now a folder called demo1 _ Apple II, right? So that's the project name _ the platform name. So what I want to open that up and run a script in there. And the easiest way to do that is if you go into a folder and you type the word cmd command into the I don't know what you call it, the file bar, and hit enter. Notice how it brings up a little command prompt in that window. That's a cool trick. Okay, so let's just do a dir here, and you can see here all the source files for this project. Now, this isn't the game, this is the code for the game. To actually build the project, I have to run a script that assembles all these files, and the name for that is build.bat. Bat is an old name for a Windows script that runs commands. So let's run that and see what happens. Okay, so it built the file. It said creating a disk image, attaching it to a disk, and we're done. So now it should have actually started up the. Did it start up the debugger? No, it didn't. Okay, I will fix that. So by the time you get there, this will not be an issue. I'm going to go. I got to do a little trick here. Demo one, Apple. Demo one, Apple II. There we go. I got to run it a different way here. There we go. That script brought up the debugger. All right. So now I know to go fix that. So by the time you run into that, that won't be a problem. So to actually run this thing on the Apple, I type brun, which is binary run, and then the name of the program, which is game.bin. There we go. And we are on an east-west road. You are standing on a gravel road that runs east and west through a dense forest. To the south, a narrow path disappears into the trees, right? So if I type look, so here's my game, right? And now if I go south, I should be on the forest path. This is a north-south pass. To the south is an iron gate. And let's go north. You are standing on a gravel. Now we're back where we started, right? So I can disappear, right? Then I can disappear, right? I can walk back and forth between these two locations. If I try to go in a different direction, you can't go that way. All right. So there we go. That's how you get your. That's how you export your game and test it using the Apple emulator. And I'm going to stop there. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how to. We're going to make this door, and we'll also make it so when we try to go east or west or something out of the forest path, it'll say like the trees are too thick, or it'll say something other than you can't go that way, right? Because that gets kind of boring after a while. So there you go. That is how you get started with that text adventure tool. And obviously, if you have any questions in class, please ask.